Soft Power Economy: How Subscriptions Build Quiet Home Empires. They told you that recurring revenue requires venture capital, that subscription models belong to Silicon Valley unicorns with glass towers and ping-pong tables. The data tells a different story. The most resilient subscription businesses in the next decade won't be built in boardrooms. They'll be architected from living rooms by people who understand something the corporate world has forgotten. Trust compounds faster than scale. This is the soft power economy, and you're already standing at its center. The economic cold open. Let me show you what's happening beneath the surface of the business world. While analysts debate recession indicators and market corrections, a parallel economy has been quietly constructing itself, not with press releases, not with funding rounds, with something far more durable: the subscription model, deployed from domestic headquarters by operators who've discovered an unfair advantage hiding in plain sight. The traditional business paradigm taught us that growth requires physical expansion, more locations, more staff, more overhead. But subscription architecture inverts this logic entirely. It creates what economists call negative churn economics, where your business becomes more valuable, more profitable, and more defensible with time, not with square footage. You don't need to lease commercial space to build a subscription empire. You need to understand the mechanics of recurring trust, the shift from transaction to relationship equity. Here's what changed. The internet democratized distribution, yes, but more importantly, it made intimacy scalable. A mother in suburban Ohio can now build deeper customer relationships than a department store ever could, because she's not optimizing for foot traffic. She's optimizing for retention, for lifetime value, for the kind of loyalty that survives economic downturns. Subscription models are not about selling products monthly. They're about architecting predictable cash flow from cultivated relationships. This is the fundamental misunderstanding that keeps traditional businesses trapped in transactional thinking. They see subscriptions as a billing tactic. You need to see them as relationship infrastructure. Consider the economics. A subscription business with 1,000 members at $50 monthly generates $600,000 annually in predictable revenue. Not projected, not hoped for, locked in. This is equity you're building, not just income you're earning. And you're building it from a home office with overhead costs that would make a CFO weep with envy. The corporate world calls this asset-light business models. I call it sovereignty. The tactic: subscription low-friction asset. Let's deconstruct the mechanism. A subscription business operates on three pillars: continuity, compounding trust, and systematic value delivery. Most entrepreneurs focus only on the third. You need to master all three. Continuity is your moat. When someone subscribes, they're not just buying access, they're outsourcing a decision. Every month they remain subscribed is a month they've chosen not to reevaluate, not to comparison shop, not to churn. This is cognitive efficiency for them and revenue stability for you. Your job is to make cancellation harder than continuation, not through manipulation, but through genuine, irreplaceable value. Compounding trust is where home-based operators have structural advantage. You're not a faceless corporation. You're a real person with a real perspective, real expertise, and real stakes in the outcome. This creates what I call empathy arbitrage, the gap between what automated systems can deliver and what human curation provides. AI can generate content. It cannot replicate the judgment of someone who's lived the problem they're solving. Systematic value delivery is your architecture. This is where most subscription models collapse. They launch with enthusiasm and die from inconsistency. You need operational systems that function whether you're inspired or exhausted, healthy or sick, motivated or burned out. Your subscription business cannot depend on your daily energy levels. It must run on infrastructure. The models that work from home offices, membership communities, educational content libraries, curated product boxers, coaching cohorts, software tools with done-for-you templates, digital frameworks that solve recurring problems. These aren't just business ideas, they're cash flow engines with 90% profit margins. The soft power mechanism, the empathy arbitrage. Now we arrive at the proprietary advantage, the concept that explains why this moment belongs to you specifically. I call it the empathy arbitrage. Corporate subscription businesses optimize for scale. They must, their overhead demands it. But scale requires simplification, and simplification erodes nuance. By the time a Netflix or a Spotify reaches 100 million subscribers, they've optimized for the average user. The median tastes the broadest possible appeal. You don't have that constraint. You can build for the edges, for the specific, for the person who's been underserved by mass market solutions because their problem is too niche, too complex, too personal for a corporation to profitably address. This is not a weakness. This is your entire competitive thesis. The subscription businesses being built from living rooms right now are serving markets that don't show up in McKinsey reports. Homeschooling mothers who need curriculum frameworks, not just content. Professional women navigating career pivots who need strategic thinking, not just networking. Families managing complex dietary needs who need meal systems, not just recipes. These are high-trust, high-specificity markets, and high trust requires human judgment. Your judgment, the kind that comes from lived experience, from pattern recognition developed over years of solving the exact problem your subscribers face. This cannot be automated. This cannot be outsourced. This is your unfair advantage. Softness, in this context, is not sentimentality. It's strategic positioning. While competitors compete on features and pricing, you're competing on understanding, on seeing what they're too far removed to notice. This is soft power in its purest economic form. Influence that doesn't announce itself, that operates through trust rather than force, that compounds silently until it becomes unassailable. The mindset, from caretaker to architect of wealth. Here's the identity shift that must occur. You've been taught to think of home-based work as accommodation, as something you're doing for now until circumstances change. This framing is costing you millions in unrealized potential. Your home is not your limitation, it's your infrastructure. Low overhead means high margin. Flexible hours means you can serve global markets across time zones. Domestic proximity means you can integrate revenue generation into life architecture rather than compartmentalizing them. But this requires a cognitive reframe. You're not working from home, you're headquartered here. That distinction matters. Headquarters implies command, strategy, sovereignty. When you run a subscription business from your living room, you're not building a side hustle, you're constructing an asset that generates predictable cash flow, that increases in value as you refine your systems and deepen customer relationships, that could be sold, scaled, or passed down. This is generational wealth architecture disguised as a monthly membership site. The women building seven-figure subscription businesses from home offices aren't doing it through hustle, they're doing it through clarity. They've identified a specific problem for a specific market. They've built a systematic solution. They've automated delivery where possible and preserved human judgment where essential. And they've learned to see recurring revenue not as transactions but as relationship dividends. You're not extracting, you're cultivating. The asset upgrade. Professionalizing your domestic headquarters. At this stage of building, you need to make a critical distinction. Your home contains your headquarters, but they are not the same space. The kitchen table can serve many functions. Your business cannot afford to be one of them. This is where most home-based subscription businesses plateau. They treat their workspace as borrowed space rather than professional infrastructure, and the brain registers this. It cannot shift into strategic mode in an environment that signals domestic duty. To architect a subscription empire from a quiet room, you must respect the cognitive requirements of the work. I use the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra headphones, not for audio quality, though that's exceptional. I use them because they create an acoustic boundary. When they're on, my brain understands that we've transitioned from domestic logistics to business architecture. The noise-canceling technology isn't about blocking sound, it's about creating the psychological container for deep work. This is capital expenditure, not consumption. You're investing in the infrastructure that allows you to think strategically, to see patterns your competitors miss, to make decisions that compound over quarters rather than days. Every subscription business lives or dies on the quality of strategic thinking, and strategic thinking requires protected cognitive space. Other operators I know invest in different tools for the same reason. A fountain pen and leather journal for someone who thinks through writing, an ergonomic chair for someone building software, a dedicated monitor for someone managing multiple subscription tiers. These aren't luxuries. They're professional tools that signal to yourself and to your environment that this work is not peripheral. It's primary. When you professionalize your workspace, you professionalize your relationship with the business. And that shift from hobbyist to architect is what separates subscription businesses that dissolve after 18 months from those that compound for decades. The vision. You are headquartered here. Look around the room you're in right now. See it differently. That corner where the light hits just right in the afternoon. That's where you'll record the monthly training that keeps subscribers renewing. The kitchen timer you use for meal prep. That's the same Pomodoro technique that will protect your most valuable business hours. The quiet after the children sleep. That's when you'll review cohort data and identify patterns that become next quarter's product expansion. The laundry and the logistics and the noise, they're not obstacles to your business. They're the proof that you can build something durable in conditions that would collapse weaker models. If you can architect recurring revenue systems while managing domestic complexity, you have operational resilience that venture-backed founders spending 12 hours in co-working spaces will never develop. This is not romantic. This is structural advantage. The subscription businesses being built from living rooms right now will outlast the majority of those built in office parks. Not because home-based operators work harder, though they do, but because they've been forced to build leaner, think clearer, and optimize for sustainability rather than vanity metrics. You're not just staying at home, you're headquartered here. And from this quiet empire, you're building the kind of wealth that doesn't require permission, doesn't depend on geography, and doesn't collapse when markets correct. The future of business isn't louder, it's quieter, more deliberate, more domestic. and it's being architected by people who understand that soft power, the kind built through trust, consistency, and strategic positioning, is the most defensible competitive advantage in a world drowning in noise. Your subscription business is not what you do while you're waiting for the real opportunity. It is the real opportunity. And every month someone chooses to remain subscribed. You're not just earning revenue, you're compounding sovereignty. Build accordingly. Disclaimer: this content is for educational and informational purposes only and does not replace consultation or assistance from a professional. Always consult a qualified professional for any questions related to finance, business, or investments.